Hello, it's Hamish again. A little bit earlier tonight, but all the same, hello everyone, friends and family, and well wishers. This is the fifth day of my little vlog, and I actually don't have anything to report today. A few personal issues got in the way, and I didn't really do any writing at all, so nothing much to report. But as John Lennon said, life is what happens when you're planning for other things. Now, so I'd like to talk a little bit about my intentions. My original intention, and still partially now, I hope to utilize as much as possible the talent in Osaka, because I am here and it's an improvised film, and this is the home of comedy in Japan. So fingers crossed, one would hope there are some really talented people here. I have already talked to one local talent in front and behind the screen. The one behind the screen, sure I can talk about a little bit, is Felicity. She's a fellow Australian. Like Paul Leeming, she is also from Mackay in Queensland, Australia, which is a bit of a funny thing. But apparently they haven't met before, but all of this will change. So Felicity is a very motivated and talented filmmaker, and I hope to utilise her in a few different ways. At the moment, what she's been doing is reaching out into the talent field out here in Kansai, and she's been helping me with that, which has been a big stress relief. So, because I kind of think I want her to be, well, to like an assistant or a co-producer, because I think directing and producing require two different styles. I feel like the director's more of a father figure, and the producer is kind of more of a mother figure. Whoa, 3 minutes already. So, so that doesn't sound very sexist. Well, it may do, but in any case, I mean, the director is a kind of a dictator, so sort of that traditional father role, and myself as being a producer in the past, I felt more like sort of the mother figure. So like I feel like the actors will run up to me and say like, oh, the bad director has been telling me X, Y, and Z, and it's sort of my job to talk to the director, I suppose, and figure all that stuff out. So I do kind of need someone to take on that role, because I don't know if I can be a single parent of this project. But if that is the case, just like all the single parents out there in the world, it is possible. So, sorry, there's no earthquake, it's just me nodding my head in agreement with myself. So, in any case, what all of that is meaning, I am very, very, very grateful that Felicity is on board, and so Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy. There'll be a few more on the production, although as I was thinking tonight, as I was coming home, this is really not an Australian production. It's a Japanese film, it's a Japanese story, and it's going to be made in Japan with Japanese actors. So you would think that would be a Japanese film. But then, on the other hand, so many people behind the camera are going to be Australian perhaps almost all of us, depending on how it all shakes out. And so, well, then would you say it's an Australian film in that case? Because you see, look, something like Moulin Rouge, and Moulin Rouge is considered an Australian film. Despite Ewan McGregor being there, it's a story set in France, although filmed in Australia, and it's a French story. I mean, the Moulin Rouge is, there's nothing Australian about the Moulin Rouge, and so why would it be an Australian film? Well, I mean, there's Nicole Kidman, it's an Australian director, and Australian financing, well, partially, but then it's been financed by 20th Century Fox, which used to be owned by an Australian. So I guess it's an Australian, but then 20th Century Fox, that's Hollywood. So anyway, it's a bit of a conundrum. Now, why is this important, you might ask? Who cares where a film comes from? Well, I care because, as I guess as the producer or executive producer in this case, what it means is that if Japan doesn't claim this film, if I try to put my film in a local film festival, I'll then be in the international section, and it will mean that I'm potentially competing against like 3,000 other films versus maybe 300 films. So there's a big advantage to being considered from a country. We had all of these dramas with American piano. Some festivals in Japan were able to say, yes, this is a Japanese production, and some very, very strongly told us that it wasn't. So I'm guessing that will be the same thing here, although I wonder, American Piano showed the Japanese people in a very good light. I think this film that I'm planning to make does too, but perhaps it doesn't show Japanese institutions in such a good light. That might clue you in on what the story could be about. So anyway, it's I guess that's a bridge that I'll cross when I get to it. So they're my shower thoughts for tonight. It's a bit of a long video, but I hope you've all got to this point, and if you haven't, so if you have got to this point, thank you very, very, very much for listening and for your support, and thank you everyone for all your comments, Marie, Deirdre, my sister, Paul, Nina, and Daniel. So I really appreciate everyone's support. That's why I keep doing these things, and it's actually, these little videos have also been good for me to get my thoughts processed at the end of the day. So, and I am planning to keep doing these, so please stay tuned. Anyway, thanks for now. Bye bye.